People often assume that a beautiful woman should have the easiest love life in the world. She has the kind of face and body that makes people notice. She fits the image that society praises, and from the outside it looks like she could choose any man she wants. But the reality is very different. Many beautiful women stay single for long stretches of time, not because they cannot find someone, but because of the way beauty changes how people treat them. In her young age, a beautiful woman is often easy prey for manipulative men and narcissists. Her looks make her stand out early, and that attention can pull her into relationships before she is emotionally ready. If she has unresolved issues with her father, maybe he was absent, distant, or aggressive, she may subconsciously be drawn to men with the same aggressive or narcissistic traits. Usually a low-quality man catches her early because low-quality men are quick to pursue beauty without hesitation. They are often driven by ego, jealousy, or anger inside them that society has not given them what they believe they deserve. So they try to control or even abuse something beautiful to make themselves feel powerful. At the same time, a good man might hesitate to approach her because he feels she is too much for him or worries that her beauty would attract too much attention from other men. This mix leaves her falling prey to the wrong men while missing opportunities with the right ones, and the damage from those early experiences can follow her for years, shaping her trust issues, her view of relationships, and her mental stability. Over years of being single, these women often deal with a growing mix of loneliness, mistrust, and emotional isolation. That isolation starts to rewire the brain. Without healthy relationships or stable emotional support, the mind becomes more defensive, more reactive, and more prone to paranoia. She starts to see threats where there are none, or believes that every man has an agenda. That kind of thinking is a slow slide into psychological instability, anxiety, depression, mood swings, and in some cases, extreme or erratic behavior. When you combine constant judgment with the fear of vulnerability, the result is a person who lives almost entirely in her own head. She replays interactions, imagines insults that were never spoken, and looks for hidden motives in every gesture. This is how a once balanced mind can develop patterns of thinking that feel almost paranoid or even obsessive. And the longer this continues, the harder it is for her to separate reality from fear. Another factor is the cycle of high attention followed by disappointment. A beautiful woman is used to men flooding her with praise at the start. She gets intense bursts of validation, but then sees those same men lose interest or reveal selfish intentions. This creates a repeated emotional whiplash, up, then down, over and over. Over time, that constant emotional roller coaster damages emotional regulation. She can become more reactive, more suspicious, and more likely to overanalyze every word and action. This is not just moodiness. It is a learned state of hyper-alertness that keeps her body and mind in stress mode. Chronic stress changes a person. It affects sleep, memory, and mood. A beautiful woman who stays single and cycles through years of high attention and deep loneliness can become restless even when nothing is wrong. She may start unnecessary conflicts or sabotage potential relationships because stability feels unnatural. That instability can look like drama-seeking, but psychologically, it is a sign that her nervous system has adapted to chaos. Over time, some beautiful women also develop a form of emotional narcissism, not always out of arrogance, but as a survival tool. If she has learned that her looks are the main thing people value, she may double down on that, pushing her beauty harder while ignoring deeper emotional growth. The problem is, when looks are your only reliable source of power, any perceived threat to them feels life-threatening. That fear can make her manipulative, controlling, or excessively jealous, all behaviors that damage mental health and push her further into isolation. Long-term singleness also changes how she sees men. Without positive relationship experiences to balance her perspective, she starts to view all men as untrustworthy, shallow, or dangerous. This black and white thinking can harden into a worldview where every new person is guilty until proven innocent. Living in that mindset means she is constantly scanning for betrayal, which keeps her in a constant state of anxiety. Social media adds fuel to the fire. It not only magnifies her beauty, but also keeps her in a constant cycle of comparison, both to other women and to her own past self. If her likes, followers, or compliments drop even slightly, she feels it as a personal loss. That constant need for online validation feeds a dependence that is toxic for mental health. Studies show that heavy reliance on appearance-based validation can increase depression, especially when combined with isolation. Another reason beauty plus singleness can lead to mental instability is the loss of emotional resilience. Relationships, even when they fail, teach you how to negotiate, compromise, and recover from conflict. If she avoids relationships for years, she misses those lessons. Without them, small disagreements can feel like huge betrayals, and ordinary emotional discomfort can feel unbearable. This lack of resilience makes it harder to function in close relationships, which then pushes her back into being single, repeating the cycle. As years go by, her habits harden. She becomes highly self-sufficient, but emotionally closed off. She convinces herself that nobody is worth the effort or that she is better off alone, but deep down, the loneliness is still there. That internal conflict, craving connection but refusing it, is one of the most damaging mental states to live in. Some arrogant women often believe they can always wait for someone better. Some women, especially those who have become arrogant as a person because of constant attention, feel certain that the perfect man will eventually appear. They keep holding out, convinced they can do better. But sometimes that better man never comes, and after waiting too long, they end up settling for an average guy who does not treat them well or who hurts them. After the relationship ends, they go back to waiting again, convinced the next one will be better. This cycle can repeat for years, keeping them in a loop of disappointment and mistrust that damages their ability to form stable, healthy relationships. When people see a beautiful woman acting erratic, dramatic, or controlling, they often assume it is just her personality. But in many cases, it is the product of living in a distorted social environment for too long. It is the product of being desired but not trusted, praised but not understood, surrounded by people but emotionally alone. That kind of environment would affect anyone's mind over time. This is why some of the most beautiful women you meet can also be some of the loneliest and most mentally unstable.